I now call this regular meeting of the Board of Education to order at 7 o'clock p.m. Would you please call the roll?
Ms. Pearson?
Present.
Ms. Chavez?
Present.
Ms. McCall?
Present.
Ms. Bennett?
Here.
Mr. Carpenter?
Here.
Ms. Haley?
Here.
Ms. Stanford?
Here.
With 7 present, we have a quorum.
Thank you. We will now take a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. As we start each board meeting, it's important to remember that the mission of Rockford Public Schools is to collaboratively engage all students in an equitable first-class education for a changing world. Before we go any further, we'd like to thank Kim Pedersen and Aaron Hill, who are working behind the scenes to produce the board's broadcast via YouTube live stream and Comcast Channel 20. I also would like to welcome our Superintendent Student Advisory Council member, William Lewis. Ms. Stanford will now recognize, or will lead the board in recognizing and celebrating outstanding contributions. Or actually, it will be Ms. Haley. Thank you.
Good evening. We're excited to recognize RPS 205's outstanding staff to celebrate their great achievements. Rockford Public Schools wants to ensure every school has an outstanding principal. A partnership between RPS 205 and Northern Illinois University creates a unique opportunity for our teachers to learn while leading in a residency master's cohort. The program is selective and admittance is granted to the most highly qualified candidates. The district pays the full tuition for the program. Candidates agree to remain in the district for 3 more years after completing their program. This cohort-based program improves academic and social-emotional learning outcomes from early childhood to post-secondary success in every school, led by a partnership-prepared principal. Cohort 4 graduates from their 2-year program. Cohort 4 graduates from the 2-year program are as follows: Zach Larson from Jefferson High School, Whitney Reed from Welsh Elementary School, Andrew Wimberly from Ellis Elementary School. They are all now certified administrators. Congratulations to you all. Please come forward to be recognized. The MTSS department would like to recognize 2 of its behavior intervention specialists. Anna Nicholson at Spring Creek Elementary and Jamie Fawcett at Kennedy Middle School have completed their registered behavior technician certification through the Rockford School District. They accomplished completing 40 hours of additional training and applied behavior analysis, being supervised to show how they apply these skills in the school setting, and passing the national exam. Congratulations, and please come forward to be recognized. Next, EduStaff would like to congratulate Richard Meeks on being named the Illinois Substitute of the Year for the 2024-25 school year. So Richard, who teaches in Rockford Public Schools, has been a substitute teacher for the past 10 years. Prior to that, he was a fifth grade teacher. Teachers in the Rockford School District say he exceeds their expectations as a sub. We have fun with him. We sing, dance, and play, all while learning something new, always. The kids are always happy when we get to see him. He is overall a great sub, they said. They also say he's an incredible asset to the school. He has been a lifesaver in early childhood. Watching him interact with both the students and their parents is always uplifting. Richard says his favorite thing about being a substitute teacher is meeting new people. His best advice to someone new to substitute teaching is to get to the assignment early. Familiarize yourself with the lesson plans and communicate with teachers about situations that could affect how the day will go. When he's not teaching, Richard enjoys hobbies like line dancing, tap dancing, gardening, and watching old movies on TV. Thank you, Richard, for brightening the days of our students and staff in Rockford Public Schools. Please come forward.
Section.
Yes, he does.
That's awesome.
I also want to say that I know Richard from church, and he's a great leader in the church as well as the community.
That's awesome.
And finally, this school year, during our recognitions portion of the board meeting, we are shining a spotlight on the great work happening in our schools. Tonight, we are featuring two-way language immersion at Barber. Please welcome to the floor Barber Principal Julio Lopez.
Well, good evening, everyone. How y'all doing? All right, that rowdy crowd over there is why I'm here right now. So this is starting my 5th year at Barber. You guys got a great school. It was a great school before I got here, and it's, I think, even better now. Dr. Reed, I love that undershirt. Appreciate that. But the reason we have such a good school is we have great human capital. We have great teachers. We have wonderful parents, and we have rowdy kids. And we love them for it. Barber's been around as a two-way language immersion since 1997. It's approaching 30 years. I think if you asked every high school principal, they know the kids that come from Barber. And that's probably the thing I'm the most proud of. That was well before I was here. And we try to keep that going. So thanks for having me today. It's been 5 years. I'm glad to get in front of you for once, you know. Thank you. I'm sure all of them are really happy. So, okay, we're about 630 kids. We're a K-8 building. We're about 77% low income, 65% English language learner. What I would tell you is that we're all language learners at Barber. If you come in as a native English, you're gonna learn Spanish. And if you're a native Spanish, you're gonna learn English. And the beauty of it, when they're in kinder, we're roughly taking about 80 every year. Probably have about another, right now in kinder, probably 34 on a wait list. So that's how much want there is, or desire. You can see there we start 50-50 in kinder. One of the things that we started a couple years ago is the CLEP test. Some of you might have heard it in college. 53% of our kiddos in 8th grade leave Barber with 12 college credits. Ms. McCall knows. Say hi to Claire. Along that, the other 40% earn 6 hours, which means with a little bit more in high school, which is what I'm hoping you help me with one day, is they're going to be able to get that as well on top of the seal of biliteracy that would combine that. The kids who didn't make that probably missed the exam by an average of 1 question the last 3 years. Now that's been up 50, 51, 52, and 53. We hope for that to keep climbing. But again, the reason that happens is because of those rowdy people back there. And I can't emphasize it to you enough. We have great human capital. So, we measure these designations by the state as commendable and exemplar, and we're always trying to strive for that. Please understand that at Barber, we really don't teach English till 3rd grade. So this is kind of a normal sequence for us. We're supposed to excel and build Spanish. And as that transitions, we're supposed to be kind of a little underperforming the district level. And by 5th grade, we're supposed to outperform it. Currently, we're doing pretty good in 3rd and 4th. And we keep building that, and we peak in high school and middle school, hopefully one day high school. But as you can see there, the commendable, we were towards the bottom of that range a few years back. Not in bottom, but towards the middle bottom. We're really at the top of that threshold right now, which is nice to see. It's just data. You can take a look here at our English language arts. We already talked about Spanish. Kind of the achievement level on the left, we started at 10, we're at 22. Based on the old cut score by the state, this year we're at 29. If we use the new cut score of the state, we're at 43 or 42 and a half. So we're really thrilled about that. On the right side, you'll see kind of our student growth percentile. Anytime I get that above 40, I'm pretty happy. So we've had some really outstanding years coming into this year. And you'll see this a little bit in math as well. Some of the major things that we've changed, we've done some instructional training models like Kagan structures and building a thinking classroom. Through the help of the curriculum department, we've had new curriculums for our little bitties in K1-2 with Lectoescritura, which is a company off from Amplify. And you guys have heard of CKLA. We use Caminos. It's equivalent in kind of late elementary. That has helped us a ton, okay? But I can't stress to you enough, we can have any curriculum. We have great practitioners. We have parents that want to be involved, parents that want to be there, kids that love being there. And this is just indicative of that. It's nothing more. We used various measures that we use. From M-Class to STAR, all the stuff that most schools use. We just happen to value the Spanish quite a bit at the beginning, and we keep carrying that throughout as they transition to the English. Math has been a little bit more of a struggle, but not a struggle, just a harder way to move those numbers. If you look on the left, we're projecting a 3% achievement growth per year. We moved a little bit my first year. My second year, we kind of stayed around there. This projection there were the question marks. We're projected this year on the old cut score from the state to be around 14, which is a pretty big gain for us in math. On the new cut score, that's 20. So we feel pretty good about that. We got ways to go there, but we're on the right track. Again, a lot of those exams are being read or are available in English for our kiddos who are, half of them are native Spanish and the other ones have been learning Spanish. So over time, it starts moving in a better direction. We're really happy and really proud of that. On the right side, you'll see the standard growth percentile, pretty solid as well. Some of them are excellent. I think this year we're going to end up somewhere around 43. Like I said, anything about 40 for me as principal when I look at that. As our achievement starts going up, sometimes that SGP flattens out a little bit sometimes. That's the case for us. We've done a lot of work with a tiered instruction. We use Desmos for math in middle school, which is an all online program, costs $5,000 a year, really inexpensive. We use that exclusively for math. We've done, after having a lot of conversations with our teachers, like where are our kids lacking a little bit, we talked about fact fluency. So one of the programs that we use for fact fluency that we use daily is Reflex and Frac to build those emerging skills in math, like adding, subtracting, dividing, multiplying. Frac, as you can probably pick out, deals a lot with fractions and those kinds of things. So we use that a lot in early and mid-elementary. Some of the remediation does happen through this program too, for some of those kiddos that are a little bit further behind that we're just working on getting them to peak. Over time, you guys have heard me talk about the CLEP. My goal here for our building is to offer high school math credit in 8th grade, which we're there. We have about 23 kids probably that can be successful right now. I have a teacher that's high school certified. I'll work with Ms. Detman about that, so see if we can get that transitioned in there, because that's a step that we can take to better our challenge a little bit more rigorous for our kids in middle school. You can take a look at that one themselves. I will tell you this. Who would think that ramen noodles at lunch would be a motivator? So those kids who get perfect attendance, I don't care what it is, a dilly bar, ramen noodles, I probably would have had perfect attendance that month too. We just incentivized it like no other. Every month there's something. I mean, I think we gave up like 6 bikes last year. Anything, it's so inexpensive for the impact that it makes. And you can see a few years back and where we're at now. And when they're there, we can teach them. We can enhance their learning. But they have to be present. So we're super elated with this. 4 years ago, we had 1 kid with perfect attendance. Last year, we had 28. So some of those attendance specialists that you funded, that's really helped, especially this past year. You can see the gain. But that's all we do. We just constantly incentivize them over and over and over. There's always a party in the cafeteria at the beginning of the month. And if you don't have it, they're in my office telling me why we don't have it. So they love it. Teachers are very supportive. We do daily calendars where they click in every day or clock in or stamp in. And it's been a lot of meetings with parents. I would tell you 99% of them are positive. It's just a reminder. Well, let's go. Come on, why are they here? You want us to teach them 2 languages and you don't get them here? So it's a little extra incentive, but our parents are just good people. So kind of in general, I would tell you I've probably had just around 30 staff changes in 5 years. The first 2 years I was here, there was quite a bit. We're really stabilized. We really focused on what we do strong and not what's wrong. I use a survey that I use for teachers to group them with peers that make them a strong team. I allow them, and we talk about this, about teaching to your strengths. And for example, if you took calculus in high school, there's a chance you're pretty good at math. So generally speaking, those are the people that teach math in my building. As you know, many elementary teachers go to teach elementary because they want to teach kids how to read. And that's fine. You'll teach reading. And those who are very, very proficient in Spanish, well, I try to get them to teach Spanish reading. So we really play to their strengths. We play to their personality types. So, I can't place a teacher at any grade level other than a new hire. But every teacher that I've asked to shuffle to try something different, once they hear the perspective of what we're trying to do, what we're doing, I didn't have one pushback, not one. Yeah, there were some non-renews in there, and that's kind of what happens. But out of those 29, I would tell you 23 were probably voluntary. So again, bringing that sense of accountability, our teachers want to excel. They want Barber to be showcased. So I'm really thankful for you guys for inviting us. But we have great parents. They've kind of stepped up to the accountability of attendance. We have staff that foster curiosity. And we have kids that are really easy to motivate with a little bit of goal setting. We have wonderful, wonderful kids. We have wonderful stakeholders. So when I got there, the biggest thing is to remember the promise that we made these parents. When they came to kindergarten orientation, we promised them biliteracy and biculturalism, and that's what we're giving them. And you saw the measures in Spanish, you saw the measures in English. I promise you math is coming. It's just going to trickle down a little slower like it does in every other school, but it'll come. But yeah, we're really, really excited about what Barber is. I can't express to you what little gem you got over there on the southwest side. But the biggest thing I can tell you is ask the principals at the high school, and anytime you want to look at my kindergarten kind of waiting list, which wasn't the case a few years ago, we can open 2 more sections right now. So we're really proud of it. So thank you for having me. You know this, thank them. You have any questions for me? I'm here to answer whatever I can. If not, I'll tell them to answer for me. But thanks for having me.
Ms. McCall.
Thank you, guys. I just want to give a shout out to the wonderful staff and the principals and everybody at Barber. My experience at Barber was just great. I had a daughter go through K through 8. She got her 12 credits, and she's doing well over in high school now. So I just want to, again, I just can't express how you guys are, how warm and family oriented you guys feel. Like I feel like you guys are all my family when I came in and when I see you. And they still, you know, you see them out in public and stuff, and it's just very good. So I just wanted to give you guys a shout out, and I'm always going to be a Barber Lion. But thank you again.
Anyone else? Ms. Chavez.
Hi. I just want to also reiterate that it is a gem. I grew up on southwest side of Rockford, so I've always recognized Barber as being a very special school. I did not attend the school, but I always heard really good things about it. So congratulations on your success. Also as well, do you know how many of your students, if they have, and this is maybe before your time, have actually achieved their seal of biliteracy, or is that just like, or what success has that had beyond Barber?
Please take this with a grain of salt, because I'll be very blunt. Every one of the kids at Barber should be getting the seal of biliteracy. That is not where we're at. But I promise you, if you want to raise those numbers, just share with me the data and I'll figure it out for you in about 2 hours.
Why is it we're not there?
I'm not sure. Okay, I don't want to point fingers. I don't know. I think it's more of an emphasis now. Honestly, with some of this stuff that's happening at Barber, some of the stuff that I kind of circumvented the system a little bit with CLEP, but they should be getting the seal of biliteracy, not only from Barber. I mean, there's a bunch of other Hispanic kiddos or white kiddos that have the second language, or Arabic kids that are right there. And we have to embrace that, because to me, that's a minor in college right away.
Right.
And I think, I promise you, we can switch that overnight. In terms of identifying kids that were at Barber, start there, you're gonna find 30 or 40 really quick. So I'm hoping that's something we move with quickly. Dr. Jared and I have spoken about that.
I hope you let us know what you need from us to make that happen. Okay? Thank you.
I would tell you this. They've been harping about it. They've been harping about it because they know how important it is. One of the things that I would love to invite you, and I saw our new board member there passing on the name, we have an El Mercado activity, the market in the spring, which is absolutely phenomenal. You'll have 1,000 people there outside. Come and visit Barber. Another day you might want to come, and when we do our senior walkthrough, we average about 63 kids that come back. They come back from other districts just to walk there. And they are a showcase to the rest of our K7, K8 kids. It's a pretty amazing thing. We all have done it. I've done it in the past. It is breathtaking on how many come back. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for having me.
I do want to comment. I did attend the Mercadito you guys had. Yeah, I was there, and it was great. And some of those, I spent so much money. Some of those kids have the best, like, salesmen ever. Like, they can really sell it because they spent so much money.
I'm just recruiting for them, so keep coming.
Can I say something really quick? Absolutely. We have a high percentage.
Wait for the microphone.
We have a high percentage of our students. I can't tell you the number, but many of our students go to college. And there are, we have nurses, doctors, we have teachers. So we're very, very proud of what we are doing at Barber.
Do we have those numbers? Do we have that data?
Oh, stand up, stand up, stand up. They were students at Barber that are, it's my recruiting tool right there. I'm sure we can find that data pretty quickly with a little bit of work.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
for us
absolutely.
to continue having that. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
All right, they'll get too loud, so I'm going to get out of here. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, this concludes the recognition portion of tonight's board meeting. Congratulations to everyone, and thank you for coming. Have a good evening.
Thank you. We are now on to the petitions and communications portion of our meeting, where we invite the public to make comments. Please know that slurs, profanity, and harassment will not be tolerated. Should any speaker use unacceptable language, they may be directed to immediately surrender the remainder of their speaking time and may be restricted from public comment in the future. The board will not respond to the comments at this time. If it is appropriate, you will be contacted in a timely manner by staff. Each speaker will be allowed no more than 3 minutes to address the board. It is not appropriate to discuss matters that would otherwise be confidential in such open meetings. If you look to your left, there are 2 digital clocks. One shows the total time for public comments and one shows the time for each speaker. We thank you for your cooperation with our guidelines. Our first speaker tonight is Nina Giannangeli. Sorry about that. Followed by Craig Corcoran.
You crushed it. Members of the school board, thank you for your commitment to our students. My name is Nina Giannangeli, and I'm here tonight on behalf of Eliminate Racism 815's Education Committee. For Rockford to truly be an inclusive community, our schools must lead the way. As you begin the critical search for a new superintendent, we implore you to prioritize a candidate who is not just a manager, but a proven champion of equity and inclusion. We need a leader who understands that a diverse workforce is a direct pipeline to student success. Our goal is clear. By the 2025-26 school year, we want the percentages of our African American and Hispanic administrators, staff, and board members to mirror the percentages of African American and Hispanic students in our schools. Why is this so important? When students see themselves reflected in the leaders and teachers around them, they feel a sense of belonging, and their potential is unleashed. A superintendent with a demonstrated track record of success in hiring and retaining educators of color will be a critical partner in achieving this goal. But a diverse workforce is just one piece of the puzzle. We also need a superintendent who is a partnership builder, someone who will work transparently with the community and understand the power of culturally responsive leadership. They must be a leader who will listen to families, value diverse perspectives, and support teaching practices that affirm our students' identities. This is how we begin to close the academic achievement gaps and ensure all students are prepared for their futures. We are not just looking for an administrator, we are looking for a visionary who will help our schools become the inclusive, equitable institutions our community deserves. We need a leader who can articulate a clear strategy for building a diverse workforce and who is committed to a more just and equitable distribution of resources. So as you move forward in this search, our question to you is this: how will you ensure that the search for our next superintendent centers on these critical values of equity, inclusion, and a commitment to racial diversity? Thank you.
Thank you. And then Craig Corcoran.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I'm Craig Corcoran from Guilford. I teach engineering. I have some of the most amazing students, and some of them come from Barber, so kudos to those guys. I started in RPS under Dave Carlson, Heidi Huey, now Bridget French, which leads me to think of CeeLo Green's famous quote, "Short-term people making long-term decisions." And then the next quote is, "If we're all thinking the same thing, no one's thinking." So I'm coming here to talk to you about the capstone class that I teach. I have 4 different classes. It culminates in a capstone class where the students take on a year-long project where they're trying to solve a problem. That can be any problem that they come up with, and all year they work on it. They have an opportunity to get transitional credit with RVC. They use this to stand out in their college applications. Now they're doing something different. Every student in the suburbs has a 5.0 GPA and has scored as high as possible on the SAT or ACT. What makes our students different? This is what makes them different. This is the opportunity for them to stand out. Some of the projects that we've had come out, I had a student, he wanted to make a hovercraft, and I said hovercrafts have already been made. No need to make one. So he designed a hovercraft that could be used to go over ice to rescue victims who had fallen through the ice in rivers. He got a full ride scholarship to the University of Minnesota through the Taylor Scholarship. He had then emailed me and asked for all of his information because he wanted to apply for a patent. I had another student who worked on a golf app to help novice golf players learn the proper techniques. What else have I had? I had a student who worked on a housing project for students in RPS that are in transition, and she had some very creative ideas on how to solve that or work with you on that. Had a student come up with using drones for delivering life-saving medicines. I had another student who had a capstone project on how to produce compost fertile soil for arid, dry regions, and she was accepted into West Point. She just graduated last year. Another student worked on a mental health app focused on students' needs. So there's a great diversity of students that come through my class. At Guilford, we had 8 sections of different engineering classes, and then the announcement of the CCEC came, and my co-teacher left, which left a little burden. So normally I have 1 full class of capstone kids every year. This year I had students apply for the capstone class and they were turned down because I had to take all the overage classes. So equity kind of fell through the sites here. But now I have students in my other class. I have 3 capstone students this year instead of I think the 18 or 20 that were signed up. I have 3 students now dispersed in another class, so I'm teaching a dual book class. I'm teaching 2 classes simultaneously. So why is it that I can teach 2 classes simultaneously and my students can't get credits for both of those classes that wanted the original EDD class? Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Ricky Naylor, followed by Jessica Van Diver.
Okay, I already got questions already. I mean, you telling us about this language and stuff. I mean, did you weigh that information against free speech and you trying to restrict people what they can say up here? Because technically this board is right now, you guys are legislators right now a legislative body, so you're not an employer right now. So I'll be having this conversation again with Ms. Goldsmith in the coming days, because we're going to get this straightened out, because don't try to come and tell what to do, and then you get in what you say about harassment, that's vague. What does that mean? So don't just throw stuff out there. We need something in writing so we can look at it, analyze it, and then get back with you. Of course, you ain't going to respond back, though. We want to still be able to throw it back at you, at least test it. Give us that right. Now, Mr. Carpenter, you said that the next superintendent has to be somebody more than just an employer. So, I mean, just an employee. So is Dr. Jared right now, is he a superintendent, or is he just somebody that works here, like you said? So which one is that? So am I harassing by asking that question that you put in the paper? Now, also, I gave you guys a big congratulations, because for almost a whole month, y'all didn't have no expulsions. I said, man, they doing a good job over there. Then I come back here tonight, now you got 6. Tonight, you got 6. So what happened between those first 20 days and now that you're back at it again with just expulsions? You guys never explained what are you doing about it. Maybe you start explaining that why it was, because like I told you guys, your own attorney general said, he said, you know what he said, I don't care about the numbers if these guys doing their job. I mean, like you taking all these steps before you kick one of these kids out your schools. So are you doing that, Mr. Carpenter and the rest of the board members? If that's yes, then you got to worry about that. Also, you know, I've seen some of the data that's coming out there for these 3rd graders. Well, actually right now, these 4th graders in a lot of your schools, you guys got 80 and 90% of these students that are 4th graders that can't read proficiently. So what are you doing about that? Well, if it was me, I'll be like, if it was me, I would say, you know what? I want to talk to those 1st grade teachers right now and say, what are you guys seeing? Don't wait till these guys get to be 4th graders then say, what's going on? Because these staff over here know if these kids cannot read by 3rd grade, then they're not learning anything, because they're supposed to learn how to read up to 3rd grade. But after that, they're supposed to be reading to learn. So how can you learn to read if you don't know how to read? Mr. Carpenter, you have a question? You have an answer me for that? Probably not, because you're not focusing on that. Quit trying to shield these staff.
Thank you. Jessica Van Diver.
First of all, I'm a single mom of 2 kids. I'm here to advocate for my kids, because I feel that you guys think it's, oh, clapping for everybody else. First of all, my daughter was sent home in a dirty diaper. Poop going up her back, always sent home filthy, like pee. And they sent her home knowing the people on the bus actually told me that's how she got on the bus. I made a police report because she was coming home with bruises on her, little handprints on her, which is not right. I talked to the principal. I was not very kind to her. Yes, I know I wasn't, but then that was my youngest, and I still haven't got a call from the school board for my eldest. My daughter was sexually assaulted. There is nothing done about that. That is sad. When I called that school, I called you guys. You guys are supposed to be there for my kids. She was getting threatened to get her head chopped off, get shot. But guess what? Those kids were in the freaking school the next day. But they wanted me to have my kid change her class. What are you doing? What are you going to do? I find out Friday, bullying and harassment sheets. Those were never filled out. I didn't even know about them. My daughter was sexually assaulted at Fairview when she was 3. She is 7 now. My other daughter that just came from Nashhold that was filthy, she is 3 and does not hardly talk. She cannot communicate with you. She cannot tell you what's wrong. And I don't think it's fair. You guys, what if this happened to your guys' kids? Your grandkids? Your nieces, your nephews? I've called the cops. The cops called my daughter a liar. And there she's like, I'm like, baby, why do you keep on changing your mind? Keep figuring stuff out. Well, it doesn't matter anyway, Mommy. They don't believe me. You know how hearing that from my daughter killed me? And then the superintendent, Lachey, she doesn't want to call me back. I have the police report document in there. What are we doing with our kids? Are you letting them know that it's okay that a little boy could go into the bathroom and sexually assault a girl? And she doesn't learn that from my house. There's no way a little boy should be shoving his fingers in her vagina. I know you keep looking at the clock. I do too, because I'm so angry and disappointed. Because if it would have happened to your guys' kids, your grandkids, nieces and nephews, you would have been down there doing something, demanding something be done. But when I'm a single mom too, I can't.
Thank you. John Tech Brantley is next.
I feel that, Mom, because I have some kids that's riding my program who have been violated. But what I want to get at today is that Barber School was the product when we had the Welch lawsuit, when they changed West High School into West Middle School. We had the lawsuit, and we won the lawsuit back during the 90s. And the lawsuit stated for ethnic studies to be implemented in our school system, for us to have more minority teachers and administrators. But what irks me even more, I go back and look up the history. In 1972, 9 Supreme Court voted in our favor. What happened to Richard Greitner and what have you, 22 years old? What happened to that individual? What happened to Welch? I finally ran into a mom who graduated in 1973 from that school. I commend the board member who asked about the statistics and what have you. Where is the statistics that with the minority students of them implementing our ethnic studies? And then you quick to send a letter out about someone using the N-word when actually we the only one have the right to use the N-word. Instead of sending a letter out about using the N-word, send me a letter out about meeting with my staff member where we want to have an after-school program to address our minority youth that's failing in the school system. The Live, Learn, and Play was put out there for us to be able to utilize. You did not send me a letter saying, wow, I didn't get Live, Learn, and Play. And then, Dr. Reed, when I call you, when I email you, respond to my email. I'm not a child. I don't play and what have you. When I send you something, I'm for real. My brother's from another mother and what have you. We may not see eye to eye, but like you always said, if I work for the school system, I'd be fired because I don't follow the school system blindly. Eliminating racism. They want to bring in more minority representatives. But what you going to bring minority representatives in here for when they going to just be bourgeoisie Decepticons and all they going to do is follow our former slave masters instead of standing up representing our youth in the school. I started with 3 youth. Now I got 38 youth that I'm transporting to school, and I'm doing what everything Live, Learn, and Play is talking about doing, but yet I don't get the support or the respect because I don't get it from minority staff members that's already working in the school system. Until that day comes when our minority staff members stand up and not be bourgeoisie Decepticons, will be the day that we shall overcome.
All right, thank you. We are now on the performance monitoring consent portion of our meeting. May I have a motion and a second to approve the items listed in section 4?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any consent items in section 4 that board members wish to have pulled for separate consideration? Seeing none, I would ask the roll be called, please.
Ms. Pearson?
Yes, are we going to have discussion?
For consent items, I don't think we...
Oh, yeah, we are on consistent, yes.
Ms. Chavez?
Yes.
Ms. McCall?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
Ms. Haley?
Yes.
Ms. Stanford?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We are now on the Planning and Development Committee portion. First item is item 5A, Memorandum of Agreement between the Board of Education of the Rockford Public Schools and the Van Vliet Family Foundation. Can I have a motion and a second on that item?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
Ms. Pearson has a question.
So not on the planning and developing, but in terms of the discussion, we don't discuss the closed session consent items, correct?
We don't discuss the closed session consent items.
So the consent items in performance and monitoring,
Oh, I think, sorry. Go. If there's one that's pulled, we discuss that. I think, otherwise, I don't think we do.
okay, I'll save my question for later.
Okay, thanks. Any other discussion on item 5A? Seeing none, I'd ask that the roll be called, please.
Ms. Chavez?
Yes.
Ms. McCall?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
Ms. Haley?
Yes.
Ms. Stanford?
Yes.
Ms. Pearson?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We are now on to Section 6, the Planning and Development Consent portion of our meeting. May I have a motion and a second to approve the items in Section 6?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Are there any consent items in Section 6 that board members wish to have pulled for separate consideration? Seeing none, I would ask that the roll be called.
Ms. McCall?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
Ms. Haley?
Yes.
Ms. Stanford?
Yes.
Ms. Pearson?
Yes.
Ms. Chavez?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Moving on to Section 7, the governance consent portion of our meeting. May I have a motion and a second to approve the items listed in Section 7?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any consent items in Section 7 that board members wish to have pulled for separate consideration? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
Ms. Haley?
Yes.
Ms. Stanford?
Yes.
Ms. Pearson?
Yes.
Ms. Chavez?
Yes.
Ms. McCall?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We are now on the closed session consent agenda, including Section 8, 8A, Workers' Compensation Settlement Agreement, BC, 8B, Workers' Compensation Settlement Agreement, JC, 8C, Workers' Compensation Settlement Agreement, LJ, 8D, appointment of Keelan Wright as 10-month assistant principal assigned to Guilford High School, 8E, appointment of Andrew Wimberly as 10-month assistant principal assigned to Ellis Elementary School, 8F, appointment of Whitney Reed as 10-month assistant principal assigned to Welsh Elementary School, 8G, appointment of Zachary Larson as 12-month assistant principal of Athletics and Facilities assigned to Jefferson High School, 8H, appointment of Casey Ramos as Director of Purchasing assigned to the Administration Building, and 8I, the HR Organizational Report. May I have a motion and a second to approve the items in Section 8, closed session consent?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Are there any closed session consent items that board members wish to have pulled for separate consideration? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
Ms. Haley?
Yes.
Ms. Stanford?
Yes.
Ms. Pearson?
Yes.
Ms. Chavez?
Yes.
Ms. McCall?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We are now on student discipline, suspension, appeals, and expulsions, including Section 9A, H0001X-26. The expulsion is held in abeyance contingent upon an expulsion and abeyance agreement for the remainder of the 2025-26 school year through the first semester of the 2026-27 school year. May I have a motion and a second to approve the item in Section 9, student expulsions and suspension appeals?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Would you please call the roll?
Ms. Haley?
Yes.
Ms. Stanford?
Yes.
Ms. Pearson?
Yes.
Ms. Chavez?
Yes.
Ms. McCall?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. And then moving to Section 10, closed session consent items, student discipline EIAs. May I have a motion to and a second to approve the items in Section 10?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any items that board members wish to have pulled for separate consideration? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Stanford?
Yes.
Ms. Pearson?
Yes.
Ms. Chavez?
Yes.
Ms. McCall?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
Ms. Haley?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report. Dr. Jarrett.
I would like to defer my time to our student representative this evening. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Dr. Jarrett. My name is William Lewis. I'm a senior at Auburn High School. 2 weeks ago now, when we met at RISA, I know there was a big issue with attendance and whatnot. I want to highlight Barber's attendance and their sort of restorative justice versus the punitive justice that RISA faced. Personally, as a student, lunchtime is a very important time for me, and I thought it was unfair that in RISA, the students were being kind of pulled out of lunch to fulfill their absentees. I think in my experience, having incentives for students to come in and be excited to learn and be excited to come to school as opposed to be afraid of what will happen if they don't come to school. I think that was very apparent in Barber's, where they had the ramen and noodles and dilly bars and whatnot. Personally, in third grade for me, that teacher that made me excited to come to school and maybe excited to learn was Miss Wallace. She was a very impactful person in my life. And, in first and second grade, I was not the best student, not the best person, but through that sort of hand-holding approach of sharing and the love and whatnot that RPS has, I believe that works much better in shaping our students than sort of punishing them and forcing them, in troubling situations. That's really it for me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I will move on to the next part of the agenda, Mr. Carpenter.
All right, thank you. The next item on the agenda provides the opportunity for board member discussion. Are there any board member comments, action steps, other business, new business, agenda recommendations, or any other matters to discuss? Ms. Pearson.
Yes, thank you, President Carpenter. One, I was hoping that if we could have a very brief presentation at the start of a board meeting while the community members are here to give them a better understanding with the difference between expulsion and advance, expulsion and suspension. Those three topics I think would be helpful to have a clear understanding. While the intent may have been well and concerning, I think that a lot of our community members really don't understand the definition. When they see the word expulsion, everything else in front of it or behind go away, and they just see the word expulsion. So in our efforts to educate the public on those top three words, I think I believe will be beneficial. Secondly, when I was going to make a comment earlier where it relates to the performance and monitoring segment or the agenda items, I understand that once a contract is voted upon, then it is monitored and it goes on the performance and monitoring segment of the agenda. I did send an email asking if the original date of those contracts can be added in the executive summary. since we're monitoring, it's really good to be able to look at how long have we been doing a thing as opposed to getting results that doesn't necessarily favor the purpose, and then that information is disclosed. So as a part of the executive summary, if that bit of information can be included in the executive summary, then we know that it is definitely should be placed in the monitoring, performance and monitoring segment of the agenda, and we're able to see the history or, you know, how long we've had that contract as we connect the dots, and while we look at outcomes and data and things of that sort.
So are you, like, if it's a renewed contract, you would like to know, like, how long
Exactly.
we've had it going? Or if it's new, you'd like to know that?
Exactly. If it's new, it's going to be in planning and developing. I understand. If it's not, and it's in performance and monitoring.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
That makes sense. Thank you. Ms. Chavez.
Yes, I just would like to recognize that Hispanic Heritage Month began yesterday, September 15th, and it runs to October 15th. Hispanic Heritage Month, for those of you not familiar with it, celebrates Latino culture, history, and heritage, and as well it celebrates the contributions of those identified as Hispanic or Latino in our history. It's important to recognize that, especially since a third of our population does identify Hispanic and Latino, so I just wanted to make sure that it was mentioned tonight.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Do any other board members have any comments? Ms. Bennett.
Just wanted to remind everybody that our next committee of the whole will be at Lincoln Middle School on October 7th. Information can be found on our website. It will begin at 6 p.m. For anybody who can attend, which is very exciting. And then also on our website is a section now for superintendent search. So if anybody is not yet familiarized with the process or is wanting to be familiarized or share with somebody else, the link to apply for superintendent position is there. All of the different listening sessions. BWP, our search firm, will be conducting 2 days of, I want to say it's like around 40 events, something of the such, between those 2 days. So very targeted groups of individuals, lots of opportunities for communities, community members, staff, all kinds of different individuals to participate. So all of that information is also on the website. Also, if somebody has a question or a way that they would like to participate, you can always fill out a Let's Talk, and somebody can contact you to make sure that any needs you may have are met. And then lastly, there's a survey to also fill out, and all of the listening session information, survey results really help us with what's called a leadership profile. So we want to make sure that we are all collectively as a community identifying what is important and what needs we have. And so please share that wide in your networks and make sure that everybody has an opportunity to complete. That's all.
Very good. Thank you. Ms. Bennett, I think you were recognized today for something important, right? You were named Greater Rockford Chamber of Commerce 40 under 40, and that recognition was today. Congratulations. Very proud of you, and thankful that you're on the board.
Thank you. And you can be well under 40 for that award, just to make sure that everyone is understanding the requirements. I just want to be clear on that.
Thank you for the clarification. If there is no other further business of the board, I will take a motion in a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Mr. Partel.